Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a brilliant philosophical discourse. The message here is so urgent and so incredibly relevant that we're actually bypassing our usual 30-minute runtime to deliver a really punchy, highly focused 8 to 10-minute visual breakdown. We're going to distill some profoundly deep insights on inner peace into a structured, engaging journey. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, let's kick this off with a question. How do you protect your feet from thorns? Well, the source material opens with this incredibly absurd, yet totally revealing story about a king. Imagine this. One morning, the king is walking in his garden, he steps on a tiny thorn, and the pain literally drives him mad. He summons all his scholars, all his smartest people, and demands a permanent solution so that a thorn will never, ever prick him again. So what's their grand idea? Cover the entire earth in leather. Yeah, the whole planet. Obviously, the farmers panicked because, well, crops wouldn't grow. So the scholars pivoted. Their next idea was to sweep all the dust and thorns completely off the earth. But this just created these massive dust storms, making everyone sick. Finally, they tried washing the whole earth with water, which just caused devastating mudslides. All of this absolute chaos just to protect one single man's foot.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core thesis of our explainer. Right when this kingdom was on the brink of total collapse, an old man walked up to the king and presented a simple pair of shoes. He solved an impossible global problem with a tiny personal change. But here's the tragedy of the story, the real kicker. The scholars were so jealous of this ridiculously simple fix that they actually had the old man executed. The profound lesson here is that it's infinitely easier to change yourself, to just put on a pair of shoes, than it is to try and pave the entire outside world with leather. Yet, as a society, we constantly try to change the world around us rather than just looking inward.
Which brings us to the first sutra, living in the present. To protect ourselves from the thorns of life, the anxiety, the sorrow, the constant unrest, we need to craft our own inner shoes. And according to the discourse, these shoes are made of 3 principles, or sutras. Starting with our relationship to time, the source breaks time down into 2 very distinct categories. First, we have real time, which is the exact existing current moment, right now. And then we have pseudo-time, which is a complete invention of the human mind, consisting of the past and the future. The text argues that humanity is entirely trapped in this pseudo-time. We're constantly abandoning the actual, physical present moment to go live in the dead memories of yesterday or the fabricated anxieties of tomorrow.
This concept is beautifully framed through a really famous story. So after 12 years of wandering, Buddha returned to his father. And his father was furious, just yelling at him for abandoning the family all those years ago. Buddha listened patiently, and then said something to the effect of, "I am not the man who left 12 years ago. Much water has flowed down the Ganges in me too." He basically begged his father to look at him as he was, right then and there in that exact moment. But his father couldn't do it. His father's mind was stuck 12 years in the past, completely blinding him to the enlightened reality of the present moment sitting right in front of him. And honestly, if being stuck in the past is bad, rushing into the future is just as ridiculous. The source shares this hilarious anecdote about an old man on a train. A young man sits down next to him and simply asks, "Hey, what time is it?" The old man flat out refuses to answer. When asked why, the old man explains his thought process. He says, "Look, if I tell you the time, we'll start chatting. Then I'll have to invite you to my house. You'll meet my daughter, you'll fall in love, and you'll want to marry her. And I absolutely refuse to let my daughter marry a guy who doesn't even own a watch." It's so funny, but it perfectly proves how rapidly our minds spiral out of a simple, present moment interaction into these entirely fictional future anxieties. To truly understand the power of just being in the present, the text shares an amazing thought experiment. Imagine a planned global event where, at an exact designated second, every single person on Earth is supposed to shout at the moon. What do you think would happen? Well, at that exact second, there would actually be total, absolute silence on a planet. Why? Because every single person would decide to stay quiet just to hear the incredible sound of the rest of the world shouting. In that one moment of waiting to listen, nobody would be in the past, nobody would be in the future. It would be a moment of total, pure, present awareness.
That takes us to the second sutra, the art of relaxation.
Learning to exist in that silent, present moment leads us directly to the second pillar of our inner shoes, the necessity of what the text calls the unoccupied mind. Think about modern humans for a second. We are completely infected with this disease of constant busyness. We're tense, always running, always trying to get somewhere, even when we're supposedly relaxing. We treat a leisurely walk in the park like it's a military march. Now contrast that with nature. Specifically, picture an eagle gliding in the evening sky. Its wings are spread, but they aren't flapping. The eagle is just riding the wind, completely unburdened and totally unoccupied. As a species, we have essentially lost the ability to glide.
This constant need to do something actually hurts us, especially when we're trying to find inner peace or spirituality. The text calls this the paradox of seeking. Seeking actually creates deep mental tension, and that tension acts as a closed door to the divine. The source tells this really beautiful story of a monk who searched for the divine for years. He drove himself crazy looking for it. Finally, exhausted and frustrated, he completely gave up. He just stopped searching, sat down by a hill, and relaxed. And it was in that exact moment of letting go that he finally found what he was looking for. Trying too hard creates mental tension, like a locked door. Stopping the search is what actually invites peace in naturally.
Now for the third sutra, total awareness. Now you might be thinking, okay, great, so I just need to completely relax and do absolutely nothing. Well, actually, scratch that, not quite. True relaxation is not sleep. It has to be paired with our third pillar, which is a sharp staccato alertness born out of necessity. The source uses a brilliant metaphor for this. Picture a cat sitting right by a mouse hole. The cat isn't stressed out, it isn't anxiously pacing around, it's perfectly still, but it is intensely, unwaveringly awake. If a single leaf twitches, boom, the cat is ready to pounce. This is exactly what true, active awareness looks like. It's a completely relaxed body, but an utterly present, unbroken alertness.
But we humans have a really hard time maintaining this kind of alertness. The source shares a story of an old teacher watching a young boy climb a massive tree. When the boy is 100 feet in the air, the old man says absolutely nothing. But when the boy is climbing down and is just, say, 10 feet from the ground, the old man yells, "Be careful, wake up!" The boy is super confused. Why warn him when he's almost safe? The teacher explains it like this. When we're high up, extreme danger forces us to be totally alert. We don't fall. But when we get close to the ground, a false sense of security sets in. We think we're safe, our mind goes to sleep, and that is exactly when we fall.
The brutal truth highlighted by the text is that human security is a total myth. We build these massive fortresses of security around ourselves, financial, social, physical, and we convince ourselves we are completely safe. But true security doesn't actually exist, because death is the ultimate reality that eventually shatters it all anyway. By closing all the doors to danger, we are actually just closing the doors to life. We just fall asleep in our comfortable little fortresses. Embracing the inherent insecurity of life is exactly what forces us to stay intensely awake and vibrantly alive. Just like that cat at the mouse hole.
Which leads us into becoming the master thief, the ultimate call to action.
This brings us to the climax of our explainer. We're going to blend all three of these sutras, living in the present, true relaxation, and intense awareness, into one final, highly provocative parable from the source text. It's the story of a master thief and his son. The master thief takes his son on his very first major heist inside a royal palace. They break in, and the father tells the son to go inside a large closet to grab some clothes. The moment the son is inside, the father slams the door, locks it, shouts "thief" at the top of his lungs to wake the royal guards, and just runs away. Now put yourself in the son's shoes for a second. Trapped in a closet, guards rushing in, he has absolutely no time to think. He can't plan for the future, he can't regret the past. The extreme imminent danger forces him entirely out of pseudo-time and into pure, crystal-clear present awareness. Driven by this intense alertness, he scratches the door, tricks a maid into opening it, blows out her candle, and escapes into the night.
When the son gets home, he isn't even angry at his father. In fact, he is entirely transformed. He tells his father, "I don't even know how I escaped, but I have never felt such freshness, such total alertness in my entire life." He realizes that the incredible inner awareness he was forced to tap into was a treasure infinitely greater than any physical gold or clothing in that palace. It was so profound that he decides right then and there to stop stealing from men and instead dedicate his entire life to stealing the divine within himself.
And that brings us to our final question for you today. Are you ready to become a thief of the divine? We spend our entire lives trying to pave the earth with leather, endlessly trying to change our surroundings, fix our futures, and build false fortresses of security. But the true treasure is already inside you. Will you stop trying to cover the world and instead put on the shoes of the present moment, the unoccupied mind, and total awareness? Think about it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next explainer.